There we go. There we go. Got something. I'm not sure what it is yet. It might be a bass. It's heavy. Oh. Oh, man. It's heavy. I think it's a big bass. Oh, yeah, baby. There we go. Ow. This thing's got some weight. Oh, it's a pickerel. Oh, perfect. It's a nice big pickerel. That's what we wanted. There we go. Nice big pickerel. Oh, and he hit it just right. Oh, let's see if he can just come right up. Oh, yes. Whew. There we go. Nice size pickerel right there. Awesome, awesome. All right. Oh, yes. That is a big, beautiful pickerel right there.
What's up, everybody? Edwin here for NE Fishing, coming back to you with another video. And in today's video, I wanted to cover a fish species that is often considered a trash fish and is has a bad reputation amongst fishermen, especially bass fishermen, and that's the chain pickerel, also known as slime darts, also known as snot rockets. The bane of many bass fishermen across the nation, wherever they're found. Personally, I love chain pickerel. On the right tackle, and once if you hook into one that's like 20 inches or better, it's a fun and challenging fight. And well, I actually enjoy pickerel so much that I pretty much release all of them, but I got to thinking there's got to be something you can do with them. And I started looking at fish recipes out there, and I thought the best thing that you could do is actually pickle them. Northern pike is very popular for pickling out in the Midwest and further up north than that. And a lot of other pickling recipes are used for walleye, crappie, sunfish, perch, even bass. But what really intrigued me was pickling for northern pike. And a lot of the recipes, they don't remove the Y bones for those. So considering that the chain pickerel is the smallest member of the Esox family, it is very bony, it has a lot of Y bones in it. I think that's a perfect candidate for pickling. So I decided to look up a recipe. I found one. We're going to get started on the first part right now, where we make a brine using just distilled white vinegar and salt. Make sure you don't use iodine salt, meaning table salt. Make sure you use, if you can find canning or pickling salt, use that, but you can also use kosher salt or sea salt for this recipe. Alright, so let's get started on that. Alright, so here's the fish that we have here. Here are the ingredients that you need to start off the brine. You only need to start off with three things. You start off with the fish, here's our salt, and here's our distilled white vinegar. These came from some pickerel that I caught. These I actually caught like 3 days ago. These came from 3 20-inch size pickerel, and this one actually, this meat here came from a larger pickerel that was larger than 23 inches, I believe, in the springtime. All I did with this is I actually just filleted the fish straight out, removed the rib bones, and skinned it. I left the Y bones in it to test out to see if pickling actually dissolves the Y bones in fish. We're going to test that out. These right here, what we did is we actually went through and the task of removing all the Y bones out of these fillets. So these are completely boneless. So these are going to be good regardless. But this is going to be a little bit of an experiment to see if the pickling process can, soften the Y bones like they say it does. All right, so we're gonna get started on this. We're actually gonna put the fish in some 1-quart mason jars, and like I said, it only involves three ingredients in this recipe. Your fish, which by the way, again, you can substitute this with white bass, perch, walleye, northern pike, sunfish. Any lean white fish will do well with this recipe. Distilled white vinegar and salt. So let's get started on that. Okay, so in total, this recipe is going to take a minimum of 8 days, 8 to 10 days to get this whole thing done. If you ever pickled anything, that's the standard amount of time it takes to get the right flavor and texture out of what you're pickling. So this first part is going to take a minimum of 4 days, 4 to 5 days, and all you want to do is take your fish, grab a good handful of that. I'm going to put it in the jars here. I'm going to grab some of this salt, put a good amount of salt in there, another layer of fish, a nice bit more salt, and we're going to continue to do this layers until we've got this most of the way full. So we're going to finish up the rest of these jars, and then we're going to fill these up with the vinegar. Okay, now we've got our layers of fish and salt in there, and to complete this brining process, we're just going to fill the jars with vinegar until the fish is at least covered with at least 1 inch or so of white vinegar all the way to the top. Okay, so these are set now. So you can see I put blue tape on this one because I want to keep track of this one. This is the one that has the bones and the meat still in it, and these two are boneless. Now all we're going to do is we're actually going to shake that up a little bit just so that the salt dissolves a bit, and we're going to put these in the refrigerator for 4 to 5 days, in which every day we're gonna come into the refrigerator, take the jar, and just shake it and jostle it around a little bit once a day for 5 days, and then we'll check back in, and we're gonna start the second part of this whole process. So I'll check back in with all of you in 5 days. Alright everybody, welcome back. So it's been about 5 days since we did the brining process. Now we're going to do the pickling process. And what we did is we took our brined pickerel out of the refrigerator. We brought it into the kitchen. We drained out the liquid from it, rinsed it in some cold water, and then we put all the fish in a container. Topped it off with more cold water, and then put ice in there to chill it down. Apparently that process is supposed to make the meat very firm. And the recipe says some recipes say you should do it for a couple minutes, others say for an hour. We're gonna go about halfway and do it for about a half hour or so. And in the meantime, we're gonna get to put together the pickling liquid together while that chills. So for those ingredients, we're going to need the following ingredients right here. We're going to need sugar. We're going to need a little bit of a sweet white wine. In this case, we're using Riesling, but you can use Moscato or a white Zinfandel. We have here some pickling spice. And then as filler and to add a little color to everything, we got here some white onion, some carrots, and some sweet peppers, and the only other thing we need here is the vinegar. Okay, so let's get started on that. Okay, so in a large pot right in here we have 8 cups of white vinegar, and we have 7 cups of sugar. We added a 1/3 cup of the sweet wine, and we're also going to add a 1/3 cup of the pickling spice. I'm going to put these ingredients in here. We're going to bring this to a boil just to make sure that the sugar gets dissolved, and then we're going to let this cool down to room temperature, and then we're going to bottle everything up. Alright, so we got all of our ingredients ready. We've got our pickling juice ready to go. We're going to start putting in the fish in here with the vegetables, and we're going to do it in layers. So we're going to start off by putting some fish on the bottom. I'm going to put some onions. And add some carrots. Some peppers. And then we're going to continue on with the fish. And so forth until we fill this all the way to the top. There we go. We're going to do that with the rest of them, and then we're going to fill it up with the pickling juice. Alright, we got our jars all the way filled up. Fish, onions, carrots, peppers, and it continues on all the way to the top. I made sure to leave about half an inch of space at the top. And now we're going to top this off with the pickling solution. Just going to grab quite a bit here and just slowly start to fill them in. Give it a little tap to get out any air bubbles. Just top it off. Put the lids on these. There we go. Alright, so you let everything distribute out throughout the jar. Now, unfortunately, all we have to do now is put these in the refrigerator for another 4 or 5 days, and then they'll be ready to go. You don't have to shake them up every day or anything like that. You just leave them in the refrigerator, let them sit for 4 to 5 days, and it's ready to eat. So I'll check back in with you guys in about a week to show you the results of that. Alright everybody, so it's been about 5 days since we did the pickling solution, and we put all the fish and the onions, carrots, and peppers in there with the pickling spices, and this is the result. I've actually pulled out some right here. As you can see, I've actually got 2 bowls. This version right here is the one that has no bones in it. The way I filleted the pickerel, I cut out all the Y bones that were in there, so this is completely boneless. This one right here, I just straight cut the fillet straight down, cut the ribs off, skinned it, and then just cut up into small chunks with the Y bones included. Supposedly this process dissolves the Y bones, so we're going to put that to a test. I can tell you right off the bat, this smells amazing. It's got a sweetness to it. You can smell all different spices that are in there from the pickling spices, and you can even see right there, it looks great. You can see the looks like mustard seed, cloves, peppercorns, and then other stuff in there that go into this. It really does smell great. So we're gonna give this a quick taste test and see if this process actually dissolves Y bones. Alright, so let's give this a taste test. Now I'm gonna start off with this version here that's completely boneless. Oh, it smells so good. That's delicious. It doesn't have a strong vinegar flavor. There's a wide variety of spices in there. And the texture of the fish is amazing. Really nice firm texture. I love eating ceviche, and this is very similar to that. Now, let's try this version and see if I can taste any of the Y bones in it. There's no bones. I guess it works. So, if you catch any pickerel or pike that have Y bones in them, and you don't like to go through the process of cutting them out, or if you do cut them out and don't know what to do with them, don't throw them out, pickle them. This was great. It's something you can enjoy during the winter months. So, thanks for watching. I'm going to enjoy eating the rest of this, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tight lines.